Back with Athletic Director Dr. Marty Zwiren and baseball coach John Foster to continue to talk about the Lehman Athletic Program. Gentlemen, Dr. Zwiren, you heard me talking to your new coach here, or your fairly new coach. He's been here for 2 years. But tell me your reaction to our conversation. I mean, how do you think the team is doing since you've had this new coach?
Well, I thought it was a great interview. I thought you were excellent. John was also great, and he has been recruiting. He has been out there. He's been visiting leagues. He's been seeing teams. He's brought a lot of players to campus, and I think, as John said, I think it's going to be a very interesting season.
This question is for both of you. What do you look for? What are some of the defining qualities that you say, okay, this is an athlete, this is somebody I should bring onto my team? What are you looking for?
That's a big question. I mean, in baseball, you have to do at least three things. You got to have three tools at least. A five-tool player is a Major League Baseball player, but three tools: can he run? Can he throw? Can he hit?
And the other two? So to make the five?
That's more like fielding and then his head. How is he mentally?
Okay. So if you have somebody who has all five and he's all good at all five, that means he's got great potential.
Very good potential. Very high. High ceiling. Very high ceiling.
Okay. Dr. Zwiren,
my aspect of it now is that we have to have student athletes that are true student athletes. They have to be good in the classroom. If John is bringing in a freshman, he has to have good SAT scores. He has to have a good high school average. If he's bringing in a student athlete that's a transfer student, must have above a 2.5 in order to get accepted, and have at least 24 credits under his belt.
So what from your own personal careers, from your career as a coach and your career as a baseball player, what do you bring in that you can now use to direct your students? What from your own life experiences do you want to pass on?
I mean, I don't think that there's really anything that any of the players or anybody I talk to has something that stumped me that I haven't gone through in my own personal life, whether it be, having no money or never having time to do anything. I mean, I've been through it. I've been through every single piece of it. So I mean, and I like it because you can use baseball as a crutch for it too. Baseball can help you through it. It helped me through it. So I mean, and if they believe in that and they can do that, I did it. And if I could do it, I know for a fact they could, because a lot of these kids are better than I was when I was their age.
My viewpoint is I want kids to realize their potential. I want kids to realize how good they are in the classroom, how good they are out on the baseball field, and then take that experience away and make their life better. I think that's the most important aspect in athletics. How they feel about themselves, how good they realize that they can be, what their limitations are, what their academic capabilities are, and how successful they can be after Lehman.
Let's talk about the weather. Seriously, is the weather a problem in New York? Because of the limit, do you have you come from California where you can play baseball year-round.
Yeah.
Is the weather a problem for some teams?
Yeah, the weather is an issue. The weather is an issue with Northeast baseball. Most teams travel to the warmer states. They travel to Virginia, travel to Florida, get at least 12, 13, 14 games under their belt before they come back to the cold weather. One thing Lehman did last year was put lights in the south field, and lights gives us so much more flexibility to play games. If the field is not ready because it rains, we could work on the field during the day, and we can put the lights on and play forever.
The weather a factor for you, or did you consider that when you were coming here?
No, not really. I went to school in Idaho, and it's just as cold as it is here, if not colder. And we played baseball in it. We're out there playing full games in 10-degree weather.
I don't know if I got an answer from you on this when I was talking to you earlier, Dr. Zwiren, and I want an answer from you. Do you actually recruit in terms of scouting yourselves in the high schools? Do you send people out to look at who's playing good baseball in such a
my coaches do. I could have John answer that question, but certainly our focus in getting better in making our teams better and making our programs better is to get better student athletes. John could certainly relate to that with baseball.
So, John, do you actually go out to the high school games and watch them, or do you send people out?
Without a doubt, I do. I have to. I have to see them as a player. First thing I do is I see them as a baseball player because I'm a baseball coach. Then I want to see what kind of kid is he? Well, what kind of grades does he get? Because I'm not going to waste my time with somebody that's really on the cusp, per se, you know, but I really want to have a guy that he has his head on straight and he's ready to come here and go to school, get his grades done, and play baseball.
And I have to say, as long as Lehman's academic standards continue to improve, our athletic teams, all of our 17 teams, will get better.
So what is,
that's a fact.
What is the Varsity Donors Club?
The Varsity Donors Club, we just launched our Varsity Donors Club a couple of weeks ago, and it went out to the alumni list at the foundation, and it's just another avenue to support the teams, support the coaches, support our student athletes financially or in other ways that we can become better. It's about being better and knowing what your capabilities are.
But how does that work? Or how do you become a member?
We have various levels of membership, financial levels. Some include membership to the Apex. Some include tickets to our basketball games. And if a person wants to donate, they could donate directly to John's baseball program, and all that money will be used directly to support our baseball program.
So if you're really interested only in baseball and you want to support that particular area,
yes.
you know that your money is going only there.
If you're interested in swimming, you're interested in baseball, you're interested in softball, you want those funds to go specifically to offset costs for those programs, we can do that.
And now that you're part of this program and you're a coach and you're one of many coaches of this program, how does that work in terms of you're a baseball league, major league baseball pitcher, and all of a sudden you're part of a team again, but a team of coaches? And how do you interact with the rest of the coaches? And what do you learn from them in terms of what they're doing to teach their students or to advise their students?
You know, I try to watch more practices than I do games because you can always learn something. And I think that practice is the way to develop better players. And I think that you're supposed to practice as the player that you achieve to become, you know, not the one that you are. Because if it's the one that you are, then you're settling for where you're at instead of trying to get better. You know, so I always ask them, you know, anything from, you know, do you have any running programs? Do you have any, what happens if they're late? What do you do? You know, I got 3 guys that have been late 3 days in a row. Like, well, how do I fix this? And I've got great feedback from them that really gets that thing right on track. You know, so I mean, we work together. You know, ask them about players. Just today, the soccer coach said that he has a catcher that also plays soccer. And it's like, well, and he's like, I think that we can get him
do
here.
both?
Oh, but yeah, because they don't conflict. They don't conflict. So
the seasons don't conflict.
Yeah, completely different. So I said, well, let me see who he is, and I'll go check him out.
You mentioned a running program. You asked the other coaches if they have a running program. How much athletic, how much physical training is required of each team before they even, like for example, the basketball team, Dr. Zwiren. I was crazy enough when I was a college sports reporter for my college paper to volunteer to train with the basketball team. I thought I was going to go to the court and shoot hoops.
Right.
And for the first couple of weeks when I decided to train with them, they were running up and down the bleachers of the stadium carrying weights. They didn't get to play basketball the week that I was with them, so it was intensive. It was very tough. Do they go through that too?
Well, yes, they do. And, you know, sports has become a 12-month, 7-day-a-week operation. We try to make it a little bit better than that. We don't require our student athletes and our coaches to train 12 months a year, but our official basketball practice starts next Friday, October 15th, and the kids are having captains workouts now. And in the off season, they train in the fitness center, they train in the weight room, they train under coaching supervision. So we encourage that. Do we always want that for every team? No, but we encourage, if we want to get better, we have to make us better in the off season. We have to have better conditioning. We have to have better cardiovascular endurance. We have to have better strength. That's where we get better.